Hello and welcome to Global Catering Canada. The objective of this presentation is to share details of the services provided by Global Catering, which is part of Global Sea Services Limited Canada. Discover the reasons why we claim to be the best marine catering and housekeeping contractor and how your esteemed company can benefit by calling for catering services from Global Catering. We request you to spend 20 minutes of your time to view this presentation. We are a trim organization, truly global as our name speaks, with our headquarters in Toronto, Canada, along with our own crewing and operations back office in Mumbai, India, Manila, Philippines, a ship supply and agency office in Vancouver, and a joint venture crewing office in Odessa, Ukraine. Our entire global family worldwide is focused on attending to every need of our ship and clients on a 24/7 basis. Global Catering provides you with a one-stop shop solution for all your marine catering and housekeeping needs. From sourcing catering staff for your ships or offshore platform, training of the catering staff through our training centers in India and Philippines, to provision and bond supplies worldwide. We are very strict with our ship chandler selection process to ensure quality of the supplies are delivered as per international standards and also shoulder responsibility of complete onboard victualling management. Our staff works in close liaison with the captain on board. Our trained Manpower Edge, which follows the in-house Catman program, helps save valuable time that the captain spends on victualling-related activities. This frees up the ship captain to focus on more critical ship management and cargo-related jobs, while all victualling-related paperwork, inventory, ration reports, mandate calculations, etc. are taken care of by our highly skilled catering staff in coordination with our base office. With Global Catering taking over the victualling management, we bring in standardized food cost management on board through our pool of ship suppliers and maintain a predetermined victualling budget for the ships irrespective of the ship's trading route. This assists our principals in getting a better grip on their crew cost while preparing their annual budgets with no compromise in quality and variety of the food being served to ship staff. We work in close coordination with the ship staff, ensuring that they understand the rationale of victualling management to work with us and stay within the budget. A guideline is established to adjust the menu at times when a ship calls expensive or odd ports, while taking the best value for money when they call better competitive ports. Sometimes splitting the full large stocking and provision between 2 or 3 ports, hence delivering all the benefits of our expertise in sourcing provisions, bringing value for money to the ship's victualling budgets. Let me give you a picture of how Global Catering operates. With our large buying power specializing in just provision and bond procurement, we have developed a network of suppliers worldwide from small to all major ports. Ports like Japan, Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Mumbai, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, along with our other kingdom states, South Africa, Suez, Holland, Belgium, France, Germany, Gibraltar, UK, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, US Gulf, US East and West Coast, along with our own ship channeling office in Vancouver. Each supplier is evaluated thoroughly as per our ISO norms before joining our pool. They have to meet our rigid specifications, such as availability at short-term notice, quality assurance, packaging of each item, brand availability to complete the supply in full, avoid short supply, and refrain from poor quality provisions being delivered to our ships. The cost control approach with long-term quality guarantee, efficient and prompt after-sales service, or corrective action on feedback from ships after supply is affected are also yardsticks to qualify. By now, you already know that Global Catering is available on a 24/7 basis through our own operations offices in Canada, the Philippines, and India. Also via our own dedicated crew briefing and training centers in the Philippines, India, and Ukraine, besides our ship supply and port agency in Vancouver, Canada. Our team comprises of catering management graduates with extensive experience in the marine and hotel catering industry. We have a pool of roving catering superintendents who have been catering school instructors and have been associated with marine catering for years. Our experts conduct catering and hygiene audits on board and when required by our principals. We rely on our external auditors who are ship captains to give us their feedback and suggestions from their extensive experience in marine operations, marine manning, ship management, and quality assurance. We have qualified trainers to train the onboard catering staff as per industry guidelines on hygiene, food safety, general food hygiene regulations of 1995 in accordance with easy directives on hygiene and food. Our continuous improvement program enables us to evolve and compete with the market demands. Last but not least, the optional service available to our principal is the easy access to catering staff from our large pool. Our current pool of catering staff comprises of over 400 staff from the Philippines, India, and Ukraine who are skilled and have sound experience to cater to all nationalities from India, Philippines, East and West Europe, Japan, Korea, Myanmar, Thailand, and Indonesia. Our team caters to vessels from different principals located worldwide. Recruitment of catering crew has never been easier for ships and can be provided to our principals by Global Catering. If our principal is keen to source trained catering staff through our pool, the catering staff lined up by us can be either routed through your manning agent or through our manning office at any of our centers. Alternatively, we can also train your existing pool of catering staff to work with us and perform to excel the expectations at no or very nominal cost to your office. Now let us look at how the Global Catering Shore office works. A client company lists out its requirements and we sign on a predefined per man, per day victualling cost. This serves a guideline for the menu indicating the overall details of what needs to be served during each mealtime, from breakfast to lunch to dinner, along with the items, which have to be available on a 24/7 basis to the crew in the mess room refrigerator. Having done that, there is a minimum involvement from the principal's side, except for reviewing the monthly performance appraisal received from the ship about Global Catering. During the initialization, our clients have an option to let us train their existing pool of catering staff or allow us to source trained catering staff for their ship at a nominal cost. In such a scenario, the trained staff is then endorsed to the client's local manning agent, who in turn deploys the catering staff on board as if the candidate was the client's own staff under their own contract, wages, insurance, and mobilization. Once on board, the catering staff takes the responsibility for the entire onboard catering management, with the objective to reduce the victualling-related workload on the ship's captain. The captain plays the role of a guardian of the ship, and the catering staff works under his command at all times. However, with the trained catering staff on board, the involvement of the ship's captain is very minimum in victualling-related activities on a day-to-day basis. The captain is encouraged to provide feedback on catering staff's performance to Global Catering and to the client's company. Now we move on to how the process between Global Catering and the onboard staff works. Upon joining the ship, the staff takes the inventory of provision stock on board, reflecting the same in the opening stock of the ship under Global Catering's management. The weekly menu is planned by the chief cook and the captain in accordance with a guideline menu agreed upon by Global Catering and the client's office. During the month, if the chief cook needs any provision supplies, he is trained enough to review the current stock on board, and based upon the upcoming port calls, he will prepare the necessary requisition and email the same to Global Catering through the captain. Global Catering, on receipt of the requisition, will activate a few quality ship chandlers for the respective port, evaluate their response to the quotation inquiry for various parameters like packaging of each item, brand names, availability in all items with the supplier, cost effectiveness, supplier's past performance records, and then finalize the quotation with one ship chandler. Global Catering takes care of the entire process of supplier lineup, quotation review, finalization of the supplier after final negotiation, and final payment after satisfactory supply is effected to the ship. During the course of our day-to-day working with the ship staff, we educate them how they should work with their daily menu and the victualling budget on hand while raising the requisition for any supply for a given port. Ship staff is shown the costing and provisions being brought for them by Global Catering for a given port and its value, whether the same is fitting in the budget on hand or not. Subsequently, they are guided by us to adjust the same and their menu for the next few days, so to ensure the menu on board stays within the victualling budget. If the requisition raised by the ship is within the approved budget for the specific period of the supply, the full list is then forwarded to the ship for their evaluation and approval. Upon receipt of the same, Global Catering will issue a purchase order to the supplier on behalf of the ship and the client. However, if the requisition is over the budget for the specific period of the indent, then the ship staff is recommended with areas they can adjust their requisition to stay within the budget. This helps ship staff to understand the costing rationale followed by the Global Catering and keep the victualling management transparent at all times. The above recommendations are made after we've evaluated the ship's indent based on various parameters through our in-house catering manager software that reflects the details of the previous supply, consumption pattern of the ship for each and every item, ship's past and current stocks with the usage on board, so the ship staff does not overstock items and waste the budget. Now we raise the purchase order for the best ship chandler on behalf of the ship and our principal. Ship suppliers line up the stock for delivery at their end. At the time of delivery, ship staff is expected to check each and every item for their quality, quantity, and packaging of each item along with the required expiration dates as applicable. For any discrepancies in the supply, the supplier is asked to exchange the item or take it back and raise credit note. However, if the ship staff has time constraints and they are to sign the invoices, is subject to check later. Ship staff has 2 to 3 days in hand to check all items if the ship has sailed out of the port and give their feedback to Global Catering along with their supplier by email. All necessary credits are taken from the ship chandler by Global Catering on behalf of the ship and passed to the ship's victualling account. Upon receipt of the invoice at our end, we reconcile the purchase order list with the delivery order list, checking details of each and every item delivered on board. We clear the payment of the ship chandler only after a thorough reconciliation is matched. The above cycle continues for each supply of provision and bond to the ship. Thus, in the above process, the involvement of the captain or the client's office is negligible. Everything is arranged and managed by Global Catering as a part of our service. Large volumes of provisions purchased worldwide enables us to control the victualling cost at a predefined budget, at the same time uplift the quality of the food being served on board. Our ship chandler are always on alert while attending to our ships, as they have to wait for 2 to 3 days after the supply is effected for feedback from the ship. They cannot supply anything to the ship they like and get away with it. Any complaint for any of the items not being up to the standard is rejected and credit taken from the ship chandler. Now let me explain how the month-end reports are managed. At the end of the month, Global Catering prepares the month-end report file through their own in-house catering manager software, which reflects the opening stock of the ship for the respective month, the supplies affected during the month, and has columns for the cook to report his closing balance as of the month. Catering staff is trained to prepare the inventory report, the ration report for the ship staff, as well as for the visitors on owner's or charter's account. The ship captain is only expected to complete the optional hygiene and crew appraisal reports. Cook only feeds in the inventory and ration reports, while the catering manager program completes the rest of the victualling related reports. This month-end report file, once completed on board, reflects many informative details to the ship staff, like monthly per man per day victualling cost, year-to-date per man per day victualling cost, along with year-to-date budget usage details. The month-end report is then emailed to Global Catering, who in turn summarizes the same for the client's office. Let us take a look at the catering staff's performance and hygiene aspect of our service process. We at Global Catering follow a complete quality assurance loop to ensure no staff lapses take place, and the performance of catering staff is monitored to improvise. Here's how. Before joining the ship, catering staff is thoroughly appraised, trained with additional cooking and hygiene skills that are imparted at the catering school to suit the specific requirement of the vessel he is to join as advised by the client. After joining the vessel, the performance of the catering staff is monitored on board by the captain. Their appraisal reports are sent to us and forwarded to the client's office in a summarized monthly report by us. Any suggestions indicated by the captain regarding the performance or personality improvement are evaluated by Global Catering, conducting a debriefing session with respective staff upon their sign-off before proceeding on their vacation. The said catering staff is then retrained as per the guidelines and instructions provided by the client and the captain of the previous contract. Our module educates the staff the importance of being a team player. The process enables us to identify the bad apples, if any, to be promptly removed from our pool. We practice and preach the balance of maintaining hygienic conditions along with cooking good food on board. Catering staff is briefed on details of food safety, general food handling hygiene regulations, and matching international shipping standards. Global Catering provides a checklist and guideline to joining staff to ensure all recommended hygiene, food safety, ILO health guidelines, and MARPOL garbage disposal guidelines are strictly adhered to on board. To further monitor that all hygienic standards are adhered to, the ship captain, on behalf of Global Catering, is requested to carry out a hygiene and food safety inspection on a regular basis, which is also in the interest of the ship. This report is sent to us, along with the month-end report is our hygiene report. We review the same and our trading staff responds to any lapses. Besides the routine audits by the master on behalf of Global Catering, the catering superintendents from Global Catering also conduct surprise hygiene and food safety audits on board vessels when requested by the client's office. We follow strict hygiene, food safety, and health standards and do not tolerate any lapses by any of our own client staff trained by us. As we know that from January 1st of 2006, all food establishments, including catering operators, are required by EU law to operate food safety management procedures based on the HACCP principles, including appropriate documentation and record keeping. Global Catering adheres and strictly abides to HACCP procedures. Though our nature of operation does not require an HACCP certification, since most of our operation does not directly relate to HACCP requirement, but we have benchmarked certain aspects of the same and have incorporated these aspects as part of our own ISO standards in respective areas as required. We have implemented the principles of hazard analysis and identification for steps critical to food safety in our onshore and offshore operations. Our approach on HACCP procedure is based on the following principles, which are an analysis of the potential hazards in food operation. We identify the situations of food operation where food hazards may occur and determine critical control points. We decide on which of the points identified are critical to ensuring food safety and establish critical limits. Our role is identification and implementation of effective control and monitoring procedures at the critical points. Establish corrective action required when monitoring indicates that a particular control point exceeds critical limits or is not under control. Review of the above points periodically or wherever the food operations change and establish procedures for verification that the Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point HACCP system is working effectively. Then produce documentation concerning all procedures and records appropriate to HACCP and its application. This entire process serves as a glimpse of what global catering is all about. If this detailed presentation is of your interest, please feel free to write us. We will be more than happy to respond with further details and tailor-make our proposal for your ship or offshore site. We at Global Catering, which is a catering division of Global Sea Services Limited, guarantees happy and contented seafarers and provides them with a home away from home in a cost-effective and professional manner.